So we did a program on AirTalk about the teachers union bringing up the Los Angeles Times publication of all the teacher scores, including Ruelas's, and the kind of pressure that puts on teachers. And A.J. Duffy, president of UTLA, called on the Times again, used this occasion of the suicide to say, you see the human toll this enacts, you need to get this off of your website. As we were about 2/3 of the way through that conversation with listeners, we got a phone call from a man who identified himself as Alejandro Ruelas, the brother of Rigo Ruelas. And we put Alejandro on the air, and he, through his grief, shared about the loss of his brother and asked people to try and be understanding of the kind of stress his brother was under and how difficult this was for the family in the wake of his suicide. But I was just very touched that Alejandro told our call screeners that he was listening, that he'd been told, he didn't say by who, that he really shouldn't comment about this, but he couldn't take listening and not calling in. He felt like he had to be there for his brother to speak about what the family's going through. One of the things I love about being able to have the web presence that we do now with KPCC is that the conversation doesn't have to end when the live on-air broadcast ends. The conversation continues with listeners going back and forth or taking the story to deeper and deeper levels. And that's truly the case in the suicide of Rigo Ruelas. We had a number of interesting comments. One from Scott, for example: Rigo was a friend of mine. He always had low-level kids in his class, and teachers like this need a different method of evaluation. There are more variables that make his classroom and him as a teacher effective or less effective. The names in the LA Times should be taken down, Scott writes on the AirTalk page. We had Mark, who wrote, teachers are public employees and aspects of their performance should be available to the public because their performance have a significant impact on the success of our society. This gives you an idea of the level of passion that goes into it, how strongly readers feel about it, the way that they're coming at a story, and the listener orientation that comes into it before they even make a comment. I think it's very revealing. It's full of thought-provoking material, and I love that that conversation is ongoing.